Let's talk about data portability, censorship. Data portability allows users to get back their data under the law. So you can take your data that you published on a platform and you can get it back. This is a tool against censorship. You spent your time and energy to contribute to a discussion in a controlled debate that has been engineered by the platform to control public perception. And in multiple ways, so many different facets sociologically. Everything from promoting things throughout the universities, through corporate partners promoting special agendas about a certain political or sociological topic, to the very platform itself, which is promoting and suppressing ideas. And you can see this in so many different aspects. But to take one, for example, you'll see Facebook promoting the climate change by showing pictures of the earth on fire, right, which is not reality. Right? That's fake news. But if you're searching about things related to climate, anything related to climate, you want to hear just just really information about it, not some hyperbole. We want to know how severe is it. You'll see things like this. You search for Green New Deal, you won't find about Green New Deal on Facebook. You'll find Facebook's special propaganda page about why the Green New Deal is great and pictures of the earth on fire. So artificial discussions, and about so many things. It could be about race. It could be about hate speech laws. It could be about fake news. It could be about coronavirus. It could be about any number of things. The discussions are all controlled. And if you dissent, your dissenting voice is going to fall under scrutiny. It can be mass reported. They'll follow you around. And the more reports you get against you, eventually one of those is going to stick, and a moderator is going to ding your account. Now, once your account has been dinged enough times, you can be removed from the platform. And unlike in China, where there is redemption for your social score, in America, with these corporations, you're banned for life. So it feels bad. It's an uphill battle. You're wasting time in a controlled discussion with uninformed people who don't really understand the greater sociological picture or how things have been engineered. They think they believe that they're really onto a good cause and it's important. But they don't realize that they're being controlled by a puppet master or manipulated, or seeds have been planted in their head and presented to them in a way that makes them seem more appealing without having to consider that maybe we have to look at this from a different angle and see both sides of this, or see maybe a third side of this to find out what's really going on here and go back and forth. And they don't do that. They just pick one side and they cling to it. Like Mark Twain said, it is easier to fool a man than to convince a man that he has been fooled. Right? So, it feels bad to be censored. So what do you do about it? Now let's get to the point about this. First thing you do is you request your data back from the company. Facebook, you censored my post. Okay, so how do you get a data portability request from Facebook? You have to search it. Data portability request from Facebook. And they should provide you an email address. They may force you to go through a web form, and some companies will do that, and then that can even be a further hindrance or a complete block where you don't have access to that platform because you've been banned, so you can't even log in to get your data back. That's a violation of the law. Also a violation of the law is when the platform doesn't give you back all of your data. Yeah, they give you 99% of it. No, that's just compliant, right? No. No, because it's that 1% that they censored that really matters. That's the thing that matters the most. It's not the kitty cat post picture or some chat message you sent to your friend, hey, see you Sunday. No. All those things do matter as well, because we know that Facebook is monitoring your direct messages and will try to ban you for things that you may have said in direct messages as well. Those are not the things that are usually, well, for anything that is a censorship issue, that's the real thing you need to get back. You need your content back. It's yours, you wrote it, it's your mind. Your content. It's yours. You have a right to get it back under the law, under California Consumer Privacy Act, California Privacy Rights Act, 1798.100, and other various laws, GDPR, for example, and there may be more coming up in different regions, different countries. So step one, you ask for your data back from the company. If there's a problem with that, if they don't comply, if you can't get the data back or you get most of it back but not all of it, they violated the law. Your next step is to go to the relevant agency for that jurisdiction. Now, for California, under CCPA and CPRA, that would be the Office of the Attorney General. Sorry, they have a special board there, but right now it's the Office of the Attorney General. So the new board is taking things over. They get $10 million a year to impose puny fines with zero transparency against these large tech companies. And of course, everybody on the board is appointed and there's no accountability. So you've got a bunch of government appointees appointed by leftists to take care of making sure that the social media companies are giving you back your content. Right. So what if, for example, the Office of the Attorney General receives your claim? Oh, well, they have to process that claim. First of all, let's talk about how to do that. So you've gotten your content back, didn't get all of it back or whatever. You file a claim with the Office of the Attorney General. You go to their website, you fill out the form, triple check it. After you've completed that filling out of the form, you submit it. Once you've submitted your claim, you print as a PDF that file so you can save it. I filed my claim. Here's all of the details of my claim. I triple checked it, checked the grammar, checked the spelling, checked the dates for accuracy. 100% clear that they violated the law. We reported it to the Office of the Attorney General. We saved the record of that report to our hard drive. You have to do that because the Office of the Attorney General isn't going to give you that record that you submitted that claim. That's how non-transparent the OAG is. So after you've submitted your claim, you've gotten that back from their website by your own doing, then you wait. And this may take weeks, months, and eventually, if the Office of the Attorney General doesn't provide evidence that they have upheld the law, then the Office of the Attorney General has then apparently failed to do their job, which is to uphold the law as specified in Civil Code, California Civil Code 1798. They're required to uphold the law. Now, they can grant the company a time to cure. Like, let's say the company's been violating the law and wow, we had an issue here and we're trying to comply with the law right now. We're working with this customer. We have an issue. The database is down. Somebody dropped their coffee on it, or whatever the case may be, right? Then the Office of the Attorney General says, okay, we're not going to fine you because we heard your story. You've got whatever the time to cure, whatever, 30 days, 120 days, whatever it is. Okay. But other than that, they're required to uphold the law. The OAG must uphold the law, and the law says that the company needs to be fined, and if it's an intentional violation, it's an extra fine. It's still a puny fine. It's a tiny fine. It's an exiguous amount. Like for these, multi-billion-dollar companies, fining them like $1,000, $1,700. It's so shameful. And the Office of the Attorney General is getting a special $10 million bonus for this, having their office there, which is essentially a do-nothing office to protect the government and to protect the social media companies, to act like they're doing something for the consumer, which they're not. They're just a bunch of unelected social justice appointees, bureaucrats under the Office of the Attorney General. They're all appointed. They're all appointed, and we know how the government likes to implement social justice, the new modern affirmative action to implement people of certain demographics to fulfill their social justice ideology, especially in California where I live. That's what they do here, right? They got to hire people from different demographics. It's part of the law, and for many corporations, the government even dictates which people the corporations have to hire, right? If you have a corporation, you put people on the executive board, we need from this demographic, from that demographic, and from that demographic. Right? They pick which demographics and which things matter to them. And it basically comes down to race, sexual orientation, sexual proclivity, but not all sexual proclivities, right? Only certain sexual proclivities, right? So that's the way they do things there. That's how the OAG rolls. Now, if the OAG doesn't uphold the law, the next thing you do is you go to the California Bar Association. You file a claim with the Bar Association. And the next thing we need to do is really make sure that we hold the government accountable. Because think about it, it's really easy to go on Facebook and whine about social issues, uninformatively, complaining about things you kind of half understand and then get banned for it. Anybody can do that. Millions of people do it. So the next thing to do is say, well, have I posted something that was worthwhile? And it says, make your time worthwhile. Post things where you actually care about it, and don't let them trample you and put you down like that, decimate you. And then get your data back. You're a publisher. You're an author. You're a content creator. Get your content back. And if they don't give you your content back, then you hold the government accountable for stealing your money and not doing its job by upholding your data portability rights under California Civil Code 1798.100 and GDPR and various other laws, which are now, they're more and more coming up now. And we're going to see more and more of these laws. That's how you get your data back and assert your rights to fight against big tech censorship and to hold your government accountable. Because if you don't hold your government accountable, then who else is? You going to wait for the next person? I mean, basically the reason government gets more powerful is because you're not doing anything to fight back against it, right? The reason government gets more powerful is because I'm not doing enough to fight back against it. I'm doing the best I can, but it's not enough. You have to try harder. We all have to try harder to stop tyrannical government takeover. And the way we do that is through the lawful and legal process and by holding our government accountable, being well informed, and following through and being consistent and persistent. All right? So you're not going to win this fight by giving up or by complaining. You're only going to win this fight by fighting it. This is an angle to fight it at. Get back your data. You have the right to your data. Get it back. If you don't get it back, that's a violation of your rights. And then you can file a claim with the OAG. And if the OAG doesn't uphold your rights, they're violating the law by not doing their job. And then if they do that, then you file a claim with the California Bar Association. And if the California Bar Association decides that they don't want to take your claim because they don't care about such cases, then we've exposed the fact that the system has failed. Okay? That's important as well. I mean, you don't just give up and say, well, it probably won't work, so I'm not going to try. You're paying money for that system. So if you pay the money for the system and it doesn't work, then you have to say, hey, guess what? This is America. I paid for it. I didn't get my money's worth. Give me my money back or fix your problem. You're taking my money for this office and lying to the public, saying that it's an office for consumer rights, when in fact my rights are not being upheld. And I've proved it. And I have all the records to prove it.